Hey everyone, it's LJ here. Welcome back to another layout video. Hey, welcome back. Margaret has joined us. Okay, so today we're going to do a pop-up. Now I'm calling this a tower pop-up. I don't know if it has another name, but it is quite a tall pop-up, so I've been calling it the tower pop-up. Now you can adjust this, as all of them, when you know the pattern and the layout, then you can adjust the sizes. Now I made this in my Alice album and I will link the video for you, but you can add this however you like. And there's two things. You can change the shape as well if you want to. I'm just going to show you a basic square shape, but you can also change the height, and if you want to, you can do what I did and make it spin, which is really exciting because not only will it pop up, it will spin. If you choose not to make it spin, it will be more sturdy, but I feel like it is okay spinning. It's not going to be like precarious, if that makes sense. So let's get into it. I'm going to have to ask this one. Come on, down you get. I know, I'm horrible. Down you go. Down. Down. Good girl. If you do enjoy these videos and you feel like you learned something from my tutorials, please give this a thumbs up, subscribe and leave me a comment below because it really, really does help me out. Okay, so let's start. You're going to start with your base page, whatever size your album page is. Okay, there's no, it doesn't matter. You do whatever size your album page is. I've just cut a piece of 8x8 just because, you know, I make a lot of square 8x8 albums, and so this will give you an idea. Okay. And then you want to figure out what size and shape you want your piece to be. Do you want it to be a square, a rectangle? I will say square is the easiest, but obviously you can justify and wiggle things around when you are happy. So because I've got 8x8, I'm going to do mine as a 5x5 because this is going to be quite a big like statement piece on the page. So I don't want it to cover the entire page, but I do want it to be like a big eye-catching moment. So this will give you enough border to add your design paper and it will look really pretty, and then you're great. But you still see the pop-up as the main element. So I've got 5x5 and you need 3 of them. Okay, 3 of them. You're also going to need 4 pieces to create the height. So what I normally do with a square is, this is a 5-inch, so these are 4 inches. So it's about 1 inch smaller, just so you have a little bit of space either side. You can do it the same width if you like, but it can get a bit tight when everything's folding together. So I like to give it just that little bit of space. So this is the width of 4 and this is 5. Okay. What you then want to do is figure out how tall you want your tower to be. I tend to use this as space for photos. So you could just decorate these with design paper, but I like to add these side panels with a space for a photo. So I am creating a space here for essentially a 4x4 photo to sit. Because I'm going to have 2 sections. You're going to score this in 3 places. 1/2 inch on each end and then in the middle. So this for me is 9. Mine is 4x9 because then you remove the inch and you've got 2 4x4 squares. So mine is 4x9 and I have scored at 1/2 inch, 4.5 and 8.5. But I will show you again. Okay, so you've got 2 ways you can do this. You can score at half, turn it round, score at half and then fold it in the middle, or calculate the middle. Alternatively, if you know your measurements, you can just go 1/2 inch, half of 9 is 4.5, and then 1/2 inch right at the end is 8.5. Okay, so 1/2, 4.5, 8.5. Fold and burnish all of these. So the 2 1/2 inch ones are going to be mountains, and the center one is going to be a valley. So you have this shape. If you hold it up this way, it does look a little bit like a tent. So I'm just going to fold this forward, hold that back, hold that back, remove the hair that is caught on my hands, there we go, and then finish. We've got 4 of these. Okay, 4 of those, your base and your 3 platform pieces essentially. Now, if you want to make it spin, all you need to do is take one of your platform pieces and we're going to find the center. You can, you know, do your diagonal line across the bottom. You know, a couple of diagonal lines, 5 centimeters to half. And then just line it up to find your center. Okay. This is only if you want to make it spin. So if you do want to make it spin, find the center and pop a hole in. Okay. I am going to make mine spin, so all I'm going to do for now is just put my paper fastener, my brad, whatever you want to call it, through and open the legs. Okay, and then forget about it for the moment. If you don't want to make it spin, then don't even worry about that step. Next, we're going to add some bits and pieces together. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add one of these 1/2-inch pieces on each side. Now, because I am pretty anal about getting things straight, I'm just going to put a pencil mark 1/2 inch from each end, so at 1/2 and at 4.5, and this just means that I'm going to be able to line things up nicely. Okay, so grab some glue. Come on, unblock, thank you. Okay, so you want this piece so that the centre is pointing in to the middle. We're going to add glue on this bottom flap. And we're going to line this up right on the edge. Like so. Okay, so the 1/2-inch piece is stuck. I'm going to do one on each side. Now, you'll be doing this all in the same colour, so yours will sort of, you want to make these as straight as you can, but if there is, you know, little bits showing, yours will be all in the same colour, so it won't make a difference. So here we have this section. Okay, do exactly the same thing on the other 2 sides. Okay, come on this side. And now can you see that this bit lies in between those 2 sections? Okay, we're going to do the last one. Again, line that up nicely, like so. Okay, so now all of them are sticking outwards, like so. If you want to, you can now put design paper over the top. You don't have to, because yours is all going to be the same colour. Obviously, if you're not, just rub out those pencil marks. That's an easy fix. But if you want to, once these are stuck on, you could cover this in your design paper to make it look more aesthetically pleasing to your design. But you don't have to. Okay, now we're going to start with the centerpiece, the next one. Now you're going to choose two opposite ones. So again, I'm going to quickly put some pencil marks on. Okay, so we're going to do the same, but these are going to stick to the top of this piece. So I'm going to do the side ones. Ignore the top and the bottom for now. I'm just going to do these side ones. Now this time I'm putting glue on the underside of that flap. And I'm going to line it up really nicely on this edge. There we go. Okay. So that is now stuck to the top of this section, okay? And do the same with this one, the top here. Now when you lie this flat, it should pretty much lie perfectly in the right place for you. It may not be exact if your folds or your cut isn't perfect, but it will be as perfect as it needs to be. So we're going to line this up, make sure that is nice and straight, get it right on here, and then fold and glue. Okay, so if I show you from the side, this piece is now attached to two red pieces, yeah? So these two are attached to this red piece. What we're going to do now is we're going to fold this like so away. So that's down. Okay, and now you've got two more, and we're going to do the same to this top piece. Again, I'm going to do the pencil marks. If you are confident, you do not have to do the pencil marks. I just like to make sure that I am getting mine nicely done. And obviously you can erase the pencil marks, that is not a problem. I don't know why I've done 4 sides, I only need to do 2, whichever. Okay, so again have these two to the side, and we're going to stick to the top of this one. So glue on the underside of this, and then line it up nice and straight, fold it over and burnish. So again, this one is now stuck to this one, and then we're going to come all the way over here, exactly the same thing, line up, make sure it's nice and straight on those pencil marks, which it is, and then glue down. Okay, so now this one is attached, and if I lift this one up, can you see all the way round it's got these side panels? Okay, so now we need to do the fun part, which is adding magnets. Get everything. Would you behave yourself, please? Thank you, there we go. I'm just going to fold it all down and really burnish all of those folds. Okay, so now it will sit completely flat like this, which is what we want. Now, to make this work, you do need magnets. You do need magnets. So I'm going to grab a couple of magnets. Depending on your size, you can use multiple. I'm just going to show you using a couple. Okay. If you want to, You could put a ribbon over this to keep it closed in your album, because when you turn the page it will kind of flop open. I like to use magnets for it. So all I'm going to do is take these magnets, I'm going to put just 2 blobs of glue. So all I'm going to do is two blobs of glue. Okay, and then I'm going to find these magnets on top. Okay, okay, so that is now attached. We also need to add magnets to the middle one though. So I'm going to lift this piece up, and then I'm going to add magnets to this piece as well, in exactly the same way. So I'm just going to go put them down, add some tape or glue, however you want to stick your magnets down is completely up to you. You choose how you want to attach these, but you will need them for the piece to work. Okay. Okay, just make sure those are burnished down, and then when this closes like that, everything is magnetized together. If you want this to spin, you can cut your design paper, find the center piece. So I'm going to just roughly find the center here. Yes. Okay, and then again poke a hole. Okay, if you do not want it to sting, let's try that again. If you do not want it to spin, literally cover the base piece with glue and stick it on top of your design paper. Okay, if you do want it to spin, when you've got your hole, you open the legs of your paper fastener, your brad, whatever you want, pop it through the hole in this piece like so, and then flatten and attach. Again, if you don't want to make it spin, just glue it down. You don't need to do this section. This is just going to allow it to spin. Now you want to lock it in place, so line it up so it's nice and straight. Turn it over, and then you're going to need to add your magnets, which will hold it in place. Okay, so this is your like design paper element. And then just glue the magnets down. Tape them down however you want to apply your magnets. Okay, and then this will spin, but it will then lock back in place. Okay, and then if you want to, you can cover things with paper or what have you. And then to show the pop-up, lift the top panel. Okay, show you sideways, just lift the top panel and then lift the second panel. And the magnets that are there will attach, and then you have this pop-up piece. Just make sure that is there. Okay, so now you've got this piece, and if you've made it spin, then it will spin when it's stood up as well. And then obviously decorate it however you like. In the Alice one, I added a frame on top, so you could add a picture on top. And then your side pieces here will hold a 4x4 photo. So if I grab a, I don't think I've got anything that's 4x4, which is rather annoying. But if I grab, say, this piece, you can add one picture there and one picture there on each side. And then to put it away, all you need to do is put your fingers in between and separate the panels. flatten the first one and then bend this one in, and it's done. So I'm quite pleased with that. As I say, now that you understand it, you need to consider your sizes. So the 3 pieces that you want can be whatever size and shape, but they need to be the same, okay? So 3 pieces exactly the same. If you want to make it spin, you will need a paper fastener or a brad, that's fine. You then want 4 pieces that are your sides. So you need to consider how tall you want your piece to be. If you want your piece to be 10 inches, then these 4 sections will need to be 11 inches because you need the 1/2 inch top and bottom to attach them. So if you want your tower to be 6 inches, you will need to do them at 7 inches. If you want it to be 8 inches, you will need to cut it at 9 inches. So add that extra inch on so that you've got your attaching strips. And again, you can make them the full size, but if I lift this up again, I lift this up. Yep, I lift this up. Hands, work please. Thank you. Can you see these need to bend in? If these were all dead straight, it would be so much less stable, which is why I like to give at least 1/2 inch, because then these pieces can tuck in by 1/2 inch. You know, if you want to do this even thinner, leave 1 inch on each side, 3/4 inch, that would work as well. But leaving that little bit of space allows these to fold in and allows it to be more structurally sound. Okay? And yeah, again, if you don't want it to spin, just glue the bottom sheet down and then you can cover whatever you want with your design paper. Now, as I said, you can cover the bottom piece with design paper. But realistically, unless someone does this, you can't really see that panel. Like, you get a little hint of it, but you can't really see it. So, you can if you want to. I wouldn't bother. I just decorate the top one, because the other two you're only going to see snippets of as you lift it and lower it. But obviously, you do you. And then once again, all you need to do is put your fingers in between the 2 top pieces, lower the bottom one, lower the top one, and that's done. Yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you on the next one. Keep crafting. Bye.